The Longfellah's Son, an almost true Irish story, written and narrated by Michael Cassidy.
Dedication. This book is dedicated to my son Brian, with regret at a childhood denied, but with joy at the man you have become. Special thanks to best-selling author Adair Lara, whose advice at the early stage of this project encouraged me to proceed. Thanks also to my editor Jill Plummer for her endless patience over the years and her determination to complete the project with me. Thanks also to Becky Parker-Geist of Pro Audio Voices for doing an excellent job with the audio recording. Thanks also to my Irish genes for giving me a love of language and the stubbornness to see the project through. Chapter 1. Exile. There was one final task to face before leaving. Since sobering up, Murphy had begun to see his son Brian's face in every young boy he'd see. The harm he'd done to the innocent child remained a continuous ache in his heart. But now he was going to increase the damage by leaving Ireland, putting the distance of an ocean and a continent between them. Brian had turned 5 the week before. His father's visit would be a questionable, belated birthday present. That surprisingly warm March afternoon saw a swirling haze floating on the surface of the River Lee as it drifted lazily beside the marina. He'd spent time wondering how he could explain why he was leaving for America, but gave up in frustration. There was no satisfactory explanation. Telling the child he was unemployable, was finished in Ireland, would make no sense at his age. He'd occasionally seen him over the previous year. The first time was when his mother brought him to the shopping centre in Douglas. Murphy had taken the bus up from Limerick, terrified all the way that it might break down, and he'd missed the appointment. To say he was especially nervous was an understatement. The boy's mother would drop him off. He could have him for 3 hours, then was to return him to their new home, but not come inside the door. She was now renting a house in Carrigaline, barely a stone's throw from their home he'd caused to be repossessed. She was living with another man Murphy had introduced her to when he was reaching rock bottom. There was a degree of sad consolation they were together, since he knew he could never take care of them, but Billy could. He was a good man who'd become Brian's real father. On that fateful day, a year before, a handsome 4-year-old boy, dressed in brown pants, brown sweater, check shirt, and shining brown shoes, had stood before him, eyes downward. His light blonde hair had a fringe falling delicately over his forehead, his eyes lake blue. He offered a shy, gentle smile before looking quickly away. He barely knew who the man hovering silently above him was, had only vague memories of him. It would have been impossible to determine which of them was more nervous. Soon they were sitting in the restaurant of the Metropole Hotel, cautiously checking each other out. All the clever things Murphy had practiced saying got scrambled in his head. Instead, he fumbled awkwardly as never before, while making inane comments as his son looked blankly back at him, a quizzical look in his eyes. They made their way through their short time together before he returned the child safely to the front door of his new home. Now, barely a year later, he was meeting to say goodbye. Forcing himself to do the deed, he took the child's small hand in his. "Brian, I need to talk to you about something important." They were sitting on the top of a grassy mound, watching 3 men in a kayak raise and dip their oars with delicate precision.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?